Thank you, Amanda, and thank you everyone for being here. This is such a joy and such a privilege for me to interact with with NDF community. I see familiar faces. I see new faces. Uh, all of them, all of those beautiful faces. And this is gonna be, I used the word interact because this is actually a fully interactive experience. Um, I've come with a name for this. I call it um, interactive meditation. So this is gonna be a kind of interactive meditation, and it's gonna the the feel is going to be created by all of us. And I think that this reflects a little bit of our times and our culture, which is very different than the culture in which a lot of these teachings started. It was a way more hierarchical culture, and we're aiming now for a more, hopefully more egalitarian way of interacting and living. So I try to make these sessions an expression of that, an expression of our interaction and our and the beauty of each of our voices, of everyone's voice. I love that. I love that everyone's voice can be heard. And this connects to the essence of the teachings that each of us have already within us the totality of the teachings, the totality of the wisdoms. That's already in us. So my greatest joy is to see that being expressed by all of us. So let's just start with a short meditation so that we can kind of ground and arrive, just arrive. So just look for your posture. Try to find a posture that reflects a stability, that you feel stable in your posture. Whatever your base is, try to feel that base of stability. Also lucidity. So see how you can come up with a posture that expresses lucidity, and that's usually just a straight spine. If our spine is straight, that creates a sense of lucidity. And the third one is ease. We want to be at ease. And you can do that. One way of doing that is just bringing your shoulders a little bit down and a little bit to the back, just a little bit. And if you do that, you might sense this feeling of ease. And just welcome your body, like you're welcoming an old friend. Just welcome it in whichever way it's expressing at this moment. And let your attention be wide and vast. Connecting to the vastness of space. You can feel the space in front of you and kind of open your attention to that space in front of you, the space behind you, space to your left, your right, up, down. Just feel the space in all directions. And just notice that within this space, things happen, events arise, different forms are born. Could be sound. Just notice how the sounds arise. It's this forms. They come, stay a bit, they change, they pass away, and another sound comes. There's also physical sensations. You can feel different parts of your body. You can feel the clothes touching the skin. Notice that all these forms also arise completely on their own. They arise, they pass away. There can be emotional sensations too. It can be a sense of expectation, anticipation. There could be anxiety. There could be peace, calm, kind of a mix of different emotional sensations. These are also forms that arise and pass. There can also be thoughts. There might be visual thoughts, different images arising. There can be auditory thoughts, this internal dialogue. There can be a lot of it, there can be a little bit. So just notice all these forms and pay attention to the richness a little, how rich this is. The richness of sounds, sensations, thoughts. It's so rich. And this all arises in this vast space. And from this place, let your intention for this space together arise. What is the intention that is calling you? Why are you here today? And see what comes up. What's my intention? Let that intention settle into your heart. You can imagine it with any light color that you feel that arises. And let it saturate your whole body. Let it saturate every cell of your body. Your whole body is filled, saturated with this intention. What really matters? What really matters to you? And at any point during the session today, just let that intention be your guide. Let that intention be your guide. And you can trust yourself that the fruits of that intention are already within you, just waiting to be uncovered, revealed. Okay, and when you're ready, you can start to open your eyes, be connected to the space, and just look at all the faces here. And for a moment, we can imagine that we're all actually sitting in a circle together. We're all sitting together. Yeah. And I invite everyone that can turn on their cameras to do so, if that's available for you. And this is going to be a very, like I said, very interactive, very participatory mm, space. So remember that every time that you share anything, you're actually bringing a gift to the space. You can share, if you share that's something is difficult for you, for instance, that's a gift for all of us. And that will help those of us who might also be feeling difficulties to feel that we're not alone. Or if you share something that's inspiring, well, that's going to inspire all of us. And if you share um, something that's inquiring, well, that's going to be an inquiry for all of us. So completely, this is an expression of community. Okay, so the title that I chose for this is Removing the Blocks to Awaken. And first, we're going to have a little bit of discussion, and then we're going to go into a very specific process for this. And I'd like to hear from any of you. When you hear this, well, the blocks to awakening. Well, what comes up? What is that? What does it feel for you that might be a block to awakening? And I will say this. So this is very interactive. So all of you are free to mute and unmute yourselves. And this is also a way of us to be mindful and kind of sense when to come in or when to step back. So, and I will encourage those of you who feel that you have a tendency to share, to allow space. And for those of you who are usually maybe more in the background, maybe to share more. Okay. So this is a way for us to kind of let go of our usual tendencies. So no one needs to be shy. So what comes up? What do we mean by blocks? What are these blocks to awakening? What do you think? What comes up for you?
Can I just unmute?
Yes.
No
Go
raise
ahead.
it. Okay.
Very good.
It's just quite quite a synchronicity that this was the topic today because yesterday I was feeling very overwhelmed about everything happening And I'm a therapist, I'm a clinician, and so I kind of see firsthand um, people's obstacles to awakening. And like I kind of see my work as helping to remove those obstacles. But I was telling my partner that like sometimes it feels like trying to like teach a deaf and blind person how to see. Just sometimes with some people it feels that way. Um, and so there was this big question for me last night of like, how do you remove those obstacles of fear of, um, mostly it's fear. It's just big fear. Um, how to remove that when people are so scared and that's all they see. So I don't know that that answers, but that's
Thank
what's
you, Valerie. Thank you. No, that's beautiful. But let me ask a follow-up question. What are fear of what? What do you think is the fear?
uncertainty. Um, they have a lot of fear of the unknown. Um,
Mhm. Fair
and
enough.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. I mean, just that, just
yeah.
that. That's just that. That's wonderful. Yeah, fear of the unknown. Definitely, definitely. Thank you. Anyone else? What do you feel do you feel are, your obstacles? Or are there any coming up? What if you get in touch with yourself, do I find any obstacles? What are they?
I was going to toss in, habitual patterns that may not be wholesome or
Uh-huh.
maybe just not fruitful.
Yeah, habitual patterns. Exactly. Habitual patterns. Of course, we have a way of being that is habitual, and look how that connects with uncertainty, with the unknown. What is it? What is outside of what's habitual, of that place where I feel comfortable? What's outside of that? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Natalie, you can go ahead. You can also raise your hand if you want. Yeah.
Thank you, Santiago. I found through Buddhism that, in fact, I do have a lot of blocks that I was ignorant about and didn't know. And a lot of Buddhism for me is a new discovery all the time of these blocks. And I kind of rejoice sometimes, even though it's kind of painful to have to face them because they're liberating to recognize finally and to work with, and also appreciate what the block has meant to me. It's an important aspect of my life. It's not just a block, there's something there for me to look and explore. So it's not simply just a block. It means something to me. It means a place where I need to go and explore and to hold it up to the light to see it for what it is. And Buddhism has afforded me this opportunity. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you to raise this question.
Thank you, Natalie. Well, I love that. I love what you said because yes, I used the word blocks, but they're not really blocks. At some point, usually when they arise, they're actually very helpful and they're very helpful for our lives, like fear. So we have this kind of, sometimes we have this modern way of looking at things and we just want to get rid of fear. It's like, oh, I see it everywhere, these workshops, get rid of your fears, eliminate your fears, But just think for a moment. If fear had never come up in your life, imagine you never felt afraid of anything, you know, where would you be right now? You never felt any fear. Where would you be? Anyone can jump in. Where would you be? There is no fear. Oh, I never experienced fear in my life.
Dead.
Dead. Absolutely dead, right? We'd probably be dead, right? So these are useful things. These are useful. They're useful for our being in the world. However, sometimes they get distorted. Right? And then we start to become afraid of sometimes a lot of paper tigers. And there's a lot of fears that are just not here. and we don't see it. My teacher says something that I love about fear. It says fear is the perfect co-pilot. It's perfect. You're driving your car, and then fear is like, "Hey, watch out! There's a hole there. If you go too far this way, you might, go down a cliff." So the fear is amazing because fear is so alert and is so awake. The problem is that many times fear is actually at the wheel.
Mhm.
So that's what we don't want. We want fear next to us, but we don't want fear to be driving our vehicle, to be driving our lives. Yeah. Yes, Lauren.
Hi, thank you, Santiago. What came up for me is when you first asked the question was, well, never not have the blocks. That's just part of how I feel being human, but it's my choice on how I react to those blocks or sit with those blocks. And Buddhism has really helped me learn some practices around accepting the blocks, acknowledging them, giving them their time. But then what I've been able to do over time is make the time with them less and less and less so that I don't dwell so much in them. And
Mhm.
I just don't think they'll ever not be there. They will be there for me. It's just how do I want to react to them? And that is my choice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And one of the things that we learn, in the tantric teachings, as I understand it, is that all these things transform. Right? So what we experience as fear as a block, when it's experienced from a different place, not from our usual sense of self, but from a different place, it can just become this bright alertness. It can just be very alert, right? And anger can transform into this very direct clarity.
Mm.
It's very direct clarity. Sadness can turn into boundless compassion. So as we practice and we realize that the self is empty, then these beautiful energies can arise. And if we don't interfere with our usual concept about them, then they can transform. They're not blocks anymore. They're not blocks anymore. But since we have all these ideas about these different energies, and we say, oh, fear is bad. I don't want to have fear, right? So then the fear is not able to show its full wisdom, and we find a lot of wisdom in all aspects of our human expression. There's wisdom behind all of it.
I
But
love
they're
that.
usually covered. And mostly they're covered by our belief and sense that we are some kind of solid, separate, independent entity, independent self. So we tend to think, okay, this is the self, this is the I, and then fear comes, and then sadness comes, and then happiness comes, and then peace comes, and the sense that there's some kind of self, some kind of I there that doesn't change. But when we try to look for this I, which is it's we can't really grasp it, it kind of like recedes, we can't really find it. So then fear is just fear. It's not, we don't say, I have fear. No, there's just fear. Fear is just fear. And fear, there's no problem with fear. It's only when the I comes and starts judging and say, oh, I don't want fear, or I don't want sadness, or I don't want basically half of life. I just want one half of life. I don't want the other half. Right? And this is a delusion. because that we're trying to split life apart. Yeah. And it's not really split. It's not really split. Yes, Cheryl.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to share. I've learned so much through Buddhist practices, and especially about handling my emotions as they come up, anxiety, fear, and what I learned is to not try to chase them away, and then they don't go away. But if I can remember to invite all those feelings, emotions in, that they're just another part of me, and it's okay. And an example is tomorrow I need to have an MRI again, and I have in the past have had panic attacks, and I don't want to take medicine. And last time I really worked with it, a friend of mine said, think about inviting your anxiety in for a cup of tea. And it really, really worked. When I just started to feel that fear, I said, wait a minute, anxiety, it's okay. Would you like a cookie with your tea? Or that type of thing. And when I remember to do that, it helps me so much. So thank you. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Cheryl. And it's beautiful. We can learn to think about these different energies almost like a being, almost like a being, right? So what does a being do when you attack it? Right? It usually, kind of like try to fight back, or when you try to get rid of it, you try to kill it. If you would try to kill a being, that being is gonna like fight for its life, right? But when we're welcome into a being, they become our friends. They become our friends. So how can we befriend all of life? That's what it's about. And all of life is an expression of something deeper, something bigger. Okay, well, wonderful. Now this is giving me, why do I do this? Because I want this to come from where all of us are. Where are we coming from? How do we connect with each other where we're at? How do we come from that place? That's why I like to hear from you. Yes, Elizabeth.
I think back to your original question about blocks, that false beliefs that I, in one way or another, have made their way into my neurology.
Yeah.
That those can be a challenge if I hold on to them. I also really appreciate what everyone said and agree with the idea that if those false beliefs about myself, or generally that's what it's about, if I just see them for what they are, like, oh, that's self-doubt, again. And it's like, oh, that's self-doubt. And so just like with everything, with feelings, also with thoughts, to just not hold on to them or believe them, because they're things that have been kind of conditioned into my brain.
Beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth. That's it. We hear about it all the time. We're conditioned. We're conditioned beings. And then because we're conditioned beings, we believe that whatever arises is the truth. And we sometimes can see, oh, this is just a product of conditioning. This is just a product of conditioning. For some reason, I've learned to see life in a certain way. And then I think, oh, this is the way life is. No, this is the way I'm looking at it. Why? Because I've been conditioned to look at it that way. And at some point, this way of looking at life was helpful. At some point, it was helpful. At some point, maybe a way to survive was I needed to be afraid, or I needed to doubt, or I needed to do all these things. But it's outdated. It's outdated. So how can we update our software? Thank you, Elizabeth. So we go with Natalie and Anne, and then we'll move on. Okay.
Thank you, Santiago, but I went once, so let me offer an opportunity to Anne, and then I would go, if that's okay with you.
Okay. However, it's good to use. Yeah, we can go with Anne.
Well, hi, thank you all. I think for me, what feels like a block is really bringing the practice into the challenging situations in life and learning how to be more responsive and less reactive with everything happening and coming in and feeling a lot of emotion and uncertainty and wanting to embody what we're practicing and wanting to be effective in the world and but from a responsive place and just not, yeah, that seems to feel like a struggle or a block for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful, Anne. And I think, most of us can relate to that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And so, Natalie.
Thank you again, Santiago. You mentioned before compassion, and that once you start working with your block, looking at yourself and all the pain you go to through the working with the block and seeing your fear, seeing your resentments. And if you can stop for a second and see, the likelihood that other people are suffering the same thing is immense. We can't possibly ever understand or know that. And that's been like a payout for me in so many ways, to understand that I'm not the only one, because I felt like that for the longest time, and still those feelings arise for me. I recently had a patient I was trying to help, and he's throwing things at me, screaming at me. I really felt some resentment, but I had to step back and see how terrified he was, which I'm thinking, I'm doing everything for you. But his fear was that overwhelming for him. He just needed to express his anger and his resentment about being sick and what he was going through. And I had to be a witness to it, the whole thing. So he get to the place where he could start to even talk about his fear. And to have an understanding of him really was a struggle for me, because I cared for this person and I liked this person. And the self-doubt that somebody brought up earlier too comes into the mix for me. Am I doing the right thing? Does this guy just hate me? What's going on? And so that's part of the mixture too. And realizing, get a focus on not who you are or what you are, but the other person, and the compassion to see his suffering and keep seeing his suffering and keep seeing his suffering. Buddhism allows you to do that, gives you so many skills to do that. So I think compassion for me is an extremely important aspect of the blocks.
Beautiful. Thank you, Natalie. And I love how you say about, I come back to this sense of, we have a lot of ideas about things, and like, oh, this person is expressing maybe anger or something, or like, even hatred. And then we're like, oh, we might say, oh, but Buddhism says that hatred is, we want to get rid of hatred, but yeah, maybe for that person at that particular time, that needed to be expressed so that it could be transformed, right? So yeah, what happens if we actually have, if we experience a place of no judgment of anything that arises? What would that be like, even if just for a moment, even if just for a moment? So okay, so now I know what we're gonna do. I know which way we can go. So I'm gonna explain a little bit what we're gonna do, the process. Then we're gonna take a 2-minute break, just a little short break, so that we can we're not sitting all the time, we just move a little bit. And then we'll go on. So what we're gonna do is this. We've been talking about different expressions of ourselves, so self-doubt, fear, anxiety, not knowing, uncertainty. We can, as I was saying, see these things as beings, like energy, like almost like a being. And if we see ourselves, if I see myself, Santiago, let's say I'm going to use a very modern analogy, like a company. Say Santiago is a company, right? Well, what is Santiago? What is it really? We can say, what is Google? Well, let's look at its parts. Is Google the building where Google is? Well, that can change all the time. Yeah. Just like this body has changed. It started as a little cell, just one cell, and now it's like this. Sometimes, you know, it's born, has no hair, then hair starts to grow, and then hair starts to go again, but then you get hair implants, and then hair is back. So it's always changing, right? It's always changing. So we can say that the self is the body. Is the self the name? So okay, it's Santiago. Well, I'm not always Santiago. Sometimes I am Santi. Sometimes I am Honey. Sometimes I am, hey you. And then it's I can respond to all of this. So it's not the name, it's not the body, it's not the emotions because they come and go. It's not the thoughts, they come and go. It's not the beliefs, they change. Everything is changing. So we can really say that the company is something we can grab. It's an idea, but it's a helpful idea. If I say Google, we can all agree in that. Okay, yeah, we kind of know what we're talking about, right? If I say Santiago, well, we kind of know what we're talking about. But we cannot define it fully. We can really find it. But we can look at these different aspects, almost like team members of the company. Fear is a team member, sadness is a team member, doubt is a team member, all of those, like you could say like employees of the company, right? So what we're gonna do is a job interview. Okay? We're gonna ask to speak to some of these things. Okay? And when I do that, I will demonstrate it in a little bit. You'll see that's actually very straightforward. When I ask to speak to one of these aspects, I'm going to let my usual habitual self just take a break. It's going to rest. Yeah. And then I'm going to be only the aspect that I'm talking to. For instance, if I say, okay, let me speak to fear. And then I would say, okay, I am fear. Okay. Okay, I am fear. I'm no longer, so who am I not? I'm not Santiago. I'm not courage. I'm not anger. I'm just fear. Okay, so what's it like to be you? Well, as fear, I'm very alert. I'm scanning for danger. Where could be a possible danger here? And I'm just scanning for it. And how does it feel to be you? Where it feels kind of like a little restricted. There's like some kind of tightness here. Sometimes there's kind of like a cold energy down the spine. Sometimes there's some shaking. Uh, okay. Okay, well, yeah, thank you, fear, for coming up and just expressing yourself. Now, let's say I ask to speak to the voice of curiosity. And then I say, okay, I am curiosity. I'm no longer fear, I'm no longer Santiago, I'm just curiosity. Okay, so what's it like to be curiosity? Well, I feel like my energy is right now it feels like it's going outward. Like I'm looking at things and I'm like, just wondering, what is that? What is it? And I want to know. I'm very curious. What is this? What is this that's in front of me? What is it? I want to know. Yeah. So that's me as curiosity. Okay? So you'll see that it's very straightforward when we start doing it. Okay? So let's just so it's 42. Let's meet at 45, 15 till the hour. Okay? So go get a tea. If you need a bio break, just take 3 minutes and then we'll start. Okay? We'll see you in 3 minutes here. Okay. We're coming back. Remember, if it's possible for you to turn on your camera, that would be that would be a gift for all of us. That would be you will bring the gift of your presence. And yeah, and I love to see as many expressions of Buddhas as possible. Right? So I like to see the faces of all these Buddhas in front of me. Okay. Okay, so let's just take a moment to again just notice our posture, how our posture is. And take a moment to remember your intention. Bring it to your mind, bring it to your heart. And let that intention guide you. Let that intention be your guide. Okay. So we heard different ways of talking about doubt, uncertainty, not knowing, all these things. So I want us to go through that path. Okay, so that's the voice that I want to work with. Okay, so I like to speak to that voice. So remember, when I ask you to speak to this voice, just let your usual self take a rest. So, and when you answer, I want us to say, as this voice, for instance, as doubt, so. Okay, so you're speaking from that voice. Okay, all right. So let's play. Let me speak to the voice of doubt. Let me speak to the voice of doubt. And we can think of doubt being a little bit to our right. So we can just move just a little bit, just 1 centimeter to the right. And the moment we do that, we are doubt. And then the self just stays where it is. And then notice doubt. So I'm gonna ask you to name who I'm speaking to, and you can say it out loud. So who am I speaking to? You are? Well, I am doubt. I am the voice of doubt. And just notice and say it a few times. Again, who am I speaking to? You are? I am doubt. I'm the voice of doubt. And just notice what comes up. What's it like to be you as doubt? What is that like? And just go ahead and you can unmute yourself. You can, yes.
I have a flutter in my heart.
There's a flutter in your heart. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything coming up about that flutter?
I think there's some fear of loss there.
Okay. Fear of loss. Yeah. 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 Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. What else? What comes up for all of us? That's doubt. What's it like to be you?
Yeah, there's a sense of sadness, of loss, having lost something.
Okay, a sense of sadness, a sense of loss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
I feel as doubt vulnerable.
Yes, definitely. As doubt, I'm vulnerable as doubt. Yes, beautiful. Yes.
I feel actually less, not vulnerable, but more like an armor. Like it's doubt is the protector, like a
Like
push.
I am.
Yeah, I as doubt am the protector.
I see that. Okay, as doubt, I am the protector. Yes, yes.
I feel something quite similar, that it's like there's a kind of stubbornness that I and only I know anything, that Sharon is really stupid. She needs me to protect her. You can't trust anybody else. And there's a kind of stubborn defiance. I and only I know anything. You have to mistrust everything.
Okay, you have to mistrust everything. Yeah.
I, as doubt, have to make sure that we're not wasting our time on things that don't work or don't matter.
Okay. Okay. So as doubt, yeah, not wasting our time. Yeah, beautiful. One thing, I invite all of us to have gallery view so that we can see all of us. And if you know, and if someone has their hand up, then that person can go. Uh, so yes. Or if you notice someone unmuting themselves, then you know that someone is so beautiful. Yeah.
As sorry, you go.
My doubt is telling me
You can say I as doubt.
I as doubt.
I tell Cheryl. What do you tell Cheryl?
I as doubt I am telling Cheryl, you don't want to do that because you might fail and you won't
Yeah.
like that.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
As doubt,
Oh,
The doubt with glasses, female doubt with glasses first.
I as doubt also feel a sense of failure, unable to measure up.
Yeah. Failure, unable to measure up. Definitely. Yes.
I, as doubt, feel very isolated.
Isolated. Yeah. Yeah. Isolated. Definitely. I can see that. Yeah.
I as doubt am stuck in a loop and not able to get out of it.
Yeah, stuck in a loop. Yeah, I can sense that. Like being what comes up for me is like being at a crossroad, and it's like, is it this way? No, no, no. Is it that way? No, no, no. Okay. Is it this way? Is it that way? And kind of like kind of like tasting both, but not really moving. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. So let me ask you something. As doubt, how is your relationship with the self? How does the self see you as doubt? What's the usual tendency of the self when the self thinks of you or looks at you or feels you? What is that? Yes.
As doubt, Natalie doesn't see all the things that she needs to have control over. I do. And I'm reminding her, and Natalie likes to use that Buddhism thing to argue with me.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I can see that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think myself or Brett would shrink. There's a shrinking in front of the doubt.
In front of me.
Yeah, in front of me, Brett would shrink or, kind of hide behind doubt.
Hide behind you.
Hide
Yeah.
behind me, yes.
Yeah, like you were saying, like a protector.
Yeah.
Right? You can be like a protector, and then the self kind of hides behind you. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Yeah.
As doubt, Lauren feels less self-love, compassion for herself, and compassion for others.
So when you come up, then Lauren feels less compassion for others when you come up as
For
doubt.
herself, and that translate into having less compassion for others.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I see. I see. Well, I want to give voice to, there was someone had their hands raised. So uh it was Anne Parente. Just want to make sure. Yeah, what comes up for you as doubt in your relationship with Anne? How does Anne see you?
Certainly as a protector, but eyes downcast, um, doubt is eyes are downcast, mistrustful of everything around. And as
As doubt,
I,
as doubt.
I as doubt, feel like a child. I feel more
Mm.
childlike. Um, I don't have a lot of view, but I'm very convinced of it. And I know I'm right. And yeah, I feel very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. Yeah. Yeah. Very vulnerable as doubt. Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Uh, it seems like the self has this um relationship with you. It's not like you're something that the self tends to welcome, right? It's more like having you uh disowned, like having you almost like a child, like keeping a child in the basement. Right. So it's like some childs are, I mean, it's great, visitors come, family comes, oh, look at my child, and there's some, favorite childs. But it seems like you're probably not one of those. You're one of the children that is like more like in the basement. So so the self must be getting some benefit of having you in the basement, having you disowned, or have this, let's say, yeah, having you kind of unacknowledged, you know. So as this doubt that's more like unacknowledged, what is the self getting? It must be getting something. What's the benefit of having you disowned?
You don't have to take full responsibility for your actions.
Say more about that. So when you're disowned, so Elizabeth kind of tries to push you away so that she doesn't have to take full responsibility. Why is that?
Because it's a sense, because as doubt, I am a distraction from what is happening, truly happening. I actually call it I call it a lot lying, that
She calls you lying.
right, she calls me
She
lying.
calls you lying, right? And she thinks that you're a distraction. She thinks you're a distraction. You see that? She's basically convinced you that you're a distraction and that you're a lie. Okay. 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 Well, it makes sense that she would do that. She's like, oh, she doesn't want you. So yeah. So what is she getting? There must be something. Elizabeth must be getting something by not acknowledging you as that. What is that?
That's, I guess, why I said not having to take full responsibility, because of almost the distraction, as I guess I'll say, as doubt, I need attention. I need love. I need gentleness. I need to be cared for.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for expressing that. Thank you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you. Yeah. What else? What else comes up? Anybody else? What is the self getting? by not acknowledging you as doubt, keeping you on the basement. What the self must be getting something. Otherwise, he or she wouldn't do it. Yes.
Natalie was doubt. I'm always bothering Natalie. As Natalie, I see doubt as sometimes an annoyance, but over time, it's something that's speaking to me also to go and really explore what doubt brings up. And
So speak as doubt. So as doubt, what does Natalie do?
as doubt, Natalie will explore me and will listen to me and will look at me. She'll fight with me, but she also respects what I bring up. And she goes the 9 yards to find out what it is I'm about. So I have a relationship with her.
Okay, thank you, thank you. But now we're speaking to that doubt that's unacknowledged. Like it's like, what is that? You as unacknowledged doubt, what is the self getting by not acknowledging you? What benefit does she perceive that she's getting or he perceive? What is it? Yes.
When we first started the exercise to interview doubt, I really was rather surprised at how emotional I got and sad. And I think Ron mentioned that earlier. And I couldn't quite figure, what was that? And
so let me speak to doubt. And as doubt, tell me what was going on with Zoe. As what happened.
Right. I, as doubt, was trying. Anyway, I've come around to that maybe. Answering the second part of your question, that maybe it gives me that
it gives Zoe.
The doubt is there to give Zoe perceived safety and caution.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. So the self tries to keep you away so that it can feel safe. Does it make sense? The self can feel safe because when we come up, the self might feel very vulnerable. So one of the benefits that the self might be perceiving is that it doesn't have to be vulnerable to keep us unacknowledged. Yes.
By not acknowledging me, Amanda is able to, feel confident and hopeful about the choices she's making.
Yes. So she sees you doubt as the opposite of confidence. Right? So when you're around, she doesn't feel confident. Right? And so she wants to feel confident. So she tries to keep you, at bay. Okay, I get it. It makes a lot of sense. Yes, it makes sense. Okay, so now let me ask you this. So we know that the self keeps you unacknowledged, because the self wants to not feel vulnerable, right? And feel confident, right? And feel these things. So that's the benefit that and feel safe, right? So, okay, so the self, that's why the self does it. Now let me ask you, as let's say unacknowledged doubt. Let's call this part of you that's unacknowledged. And just take a moment, to see, who am I speaking to? I am unacknowledged doubt. Just take a moment. So I'm gonna ask who I'm speaking to, and you can say it. So who am I speaking to? I am unacknowledged doubt. Again, who am I speaking to? I am unacknowledged doubt. And notice that. Yeah. Unacknowledged doubt. So just explore a little bit more. Why is the self keeping you unacknowledged? Why is that? What is the self getting? What comes up when you look at the self? What is the self? What is the self getting by keeping you unacknowledged? Yes.
The self is feeling calm, but I am feeling very sad and angry.
Yes. Yes. So the self feels calm, it wants to feel calm, but you feel very sad and angry. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So the self thinks that if you're not around, then she can feel, Linda, then, oh, I can feel calm because doubt is not here. Yeah. But you as doubt, you feel very sad and angry. Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think she's going to stay calm very long.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If this, let's say the self tries with all her heart and all her mind to get rid of you, fully get rid of you, are you just gonna go away? Are you just
Oh,
gonna
no,
I'm not gonna come up anymore? Is that what you're gonna
no,
do as doubt?
I'm going to try harder.
You're gonna try harder.
That'll show her.
You're gonna try harder. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna try harder. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now let me ask you this. We kind of know what the self is trying to get by not acknowledging you. That's the benefit that the self thinks she or he is perceiving. Now, what is the cost? And just look at you as this doubt, that's not even acknowledged. What does it feel like to you that is the cost? What is the self losing by not acknowledging you? What comes up? Look at the self, and the self is without you. You don't show, she gets tries to keep you in the basement. Do you see anything that is the self? Might the self be losing something? What is the cost of keeping you in the basement? Yeah.
I think Elizabeth was before me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that the self is missing out on compassion and trust.
Compassion and trust.
And tenderness.
And tenderness. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, what else? What is the self? What is the self missing out by not seeing you? What is it?
Doubt. I see that Natalie won't go deeper and explore some of the things that she doesn't feel confident about or afraid of. Um, I help her to see, look, this is bothering you. You have doubts about yourself. She doesn't like to hear that. And especially, when you've gone through a lot in life, you think, well, I've arrived, but you haven't. You're still on the journey. And now he's not always comfortable with that.
Okay. So what I hear is that without you, she's like a little bit deluded. Like she's saying, "Oh, I didn't have this thing. I'm not seeing this thing." But it's like, oh, you kind of like show her something. It's like, well, listen, you haven't like really looked here. You haven't seen this. You know, and in Zen we have a saying. It says, "Small doubt, small enlightenment. Great doubt, great enlightenment. No doubt, no enlightenment." So, yeah, what is the self missing? Yes, go ahead.
I think the self is missing an opportunity. I think Anne doesn't know what she's missing because she's denying that opportunity to explore whatever the doubt is trying to bring forward.
Whatever I am trying to bring forward.
Right.
So the self doesn't even know what she's missing. It's not that she's missing, she doesn't even know. Right? She's like in a place where she has no idea. She has no idea. Yeah. Wonderful. Uh-huh. Hmm. So let me ask you this, as doubt. What would it be like for you as doubt, for you, to be fully welcome, to be fully appreciated, even to be empowered, just to be you? What would that be like? What would that be like for you as doubt? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could, be with Natalie and help her see things even more freshly with fresher eyes. And we could just explore things simply as they arise. Natalie's got good skills in that area. She grow a lot more?
Can she grow a lot more? Yeah. So you could help her see things with fresh eyes as things arise. Yeah. Sounds a little bit like awakening. Yeah. What comes up for you as doubt? What would it be like for you? Just imagine. Yes.
I would feel relieved and happy for her.
Yeah. Relieved and happy for her. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
I'm thinking that I would need to feel that Val is in kind of open awareness and clarity, because otherwise I'm gonna kind of take over and start to feel like really like I doubt that and I doubt that and I can only feel safe and bringing attention to these doubts if there's a strong sense of Val.
Val. Well, actually, maybe you could help Val to be in that place more.
Hmm.
Maybe you could actually be a catalyst for this awakened awareness. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. What is it for us as doubt, to feel that, to feel what would it be like to just feel welcome?
If I, as doubt, am no longer kept in the basement,
Yes.
I have the opportunity to partner with Ron, and he can appreciate what I can bring to his own flourishing. We can do this together.
We can do it together. They could do it together. Yeah. As a team rather than as if you were something bad.
And I, as doubt, adding on to what Ron just said, I, as doubt, could actually make Margaret feel more confident. She thinks that she doesn't want me around because she doesn't want her confidence disrupted. But I could actually, by partnering with her and going through options and letting her see the bigger picture, I could actually help her be more confident.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Wow. Yes. 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 What would it be like for you to just be out of the basement? fully out of the basement, fully welcome as doubt, what would it be like for you?
I as doubt wouldn't feel like I have to push so much because I'd always be welcomed and I would just come when needed and leave
Yes.
with less attachment.
Yeah, you would be free. You
It'd
can
be free.
come and go freely.
Mhm.
Come and go freely. Yeah, don't need to push. Love that.
I guess as doubt out of the basement, I'm demystified and I lose some of the wind in my sails,
Uh-huh.
and maybe I'm more open and accessible to Jennifer.
Yeah, you'd be more open. You would definitely be transformed. Something. But we don't know until we acknowledge you, because we're still, you're still unacknowledged, but we're just imagining for you, what would it be like? Yeah. Yes.
I'm I'm sensing that if I'm either fully in doubt or fully in myself without awareness,
So
that
let me speak to doubt.
speak to
Yeah,
the
so doubt. So what would it be like for you as doubt to just be fully welcome as you are? No need to change you, to do anything with you. You can just be you. What would that be like?
yeah, I feel more real. I feel rounded out. I feel more full. I feel more present and embodied. I feel less fear.
Yeah.
I feel that what I have to bring is respected and actually has a quality of respect in it, like a slower perception. Anne can be a little arrogant, and she likes to think that she knows everything. And
Mhm.
and that's a safe place for her. So as I'm more here, it feels like, well, the phrase soft power, that there's a softer kind of power.
Yeah.
And that feels, I guess it just feels more real.
Wow. When you come out, it feels more real. How? How? Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Well, so let's see what happens as you fully acknowledge as doubt, right? Because we're sensing that, you're probably not what the self thinks you are. Probably something different. But we have to let you out so that we can know what that is. So let me speak, please, to doubt. The doubt fully welcome, fully acknowledged, welcomed, and embodied. Doubt that's fully acknowledged, no longer in the basement, but actually seen, acknowledged, welcome, and embodied. And see what this is like. So I'll say it one more time. I want to speak, please, to doubt fully acknowledged, welcomed, and embodied. Acknowledged, welcome, and embodied. So who am I speaking to? You are, I am doubt, fully welcome, acknowledged, embodied. I am doubt, acknowledged, welcome, and embodied. And just notice, what's it like to be you as doubt? Fully acknowledged, fully welcome, appreciated, right here, embodied. And just notice, feel what this feels like. Doubt fully welcomed, acknowledged, empowered, embodied right here. And notice what comes up. Yeah.
As fully acknowledged doubt, I'm recognizing how much in the moment I'm living, how much in the moment I'm seeing things. And I see Natalie being very squeamish in her drawers about this, but she's allowing me that space. And she's not sure how she feels about that.
Yeah.
But she's seeing that, yeah, that I can be there and I can offer some things to her. She's not sure what that means yet, but she's seeing that that's a possibility, a big possibility. She's kind of liking it, kind of pushing it away, liking it, pushing it away.
It's okay. And we can let her. It's okay. She has the right to be her. We can let her be with that. But for you as that, what's it like to be so much in the moment, so fully in the moment?
Unacknowledged doubt, very
But
real.
now welcome. Yeah, welcome.
As
Yeah.
acknowledged doubt, I feel very real. I feel very, this is where I belong. From second to second, I'm not ephemeral, but at the same time, you can't grasp me. I'm not unreal. I'm very real, but there's nothing that anybody can point to and say, well, this is me.
How amazing. You're very real, and yet there's nothing to point to. But you're very real. You are what's real. Yes.
As acknowledged doubt, I feel like an ally. I don't feel like I have to grip so hard and pull so strongly. I feel like I can be an ally to Anne.
Yeah. And how do you help Anne as being this acknowledged out?
When I'm not pushed away so much and just looked at, I can offer insight and advice and perspective, sometimes intuition. It can be, I can be a lot of things.
You can be a lot of things. Definitely. You can definitely be a lot of things. Maybe there's no limit to what you can do. Beautiful. Yeah.
So I have a good working relationship with Margaret, but sometimes I think I have too much power. I can come and go whenever I want, and so I come a lot. And I get her to think about things, and then I get her to rethink about things, and then I get her to wonder about the things that she's thought about. And I think Margaret needs to find a way to not give me such freedom.
Okay, what would it feel like for you as doubt? Because maybe she thinks you have a lot of power, more power than maybe she would want you to have. Okay, maybe more power that she would want you to have. But for you as doubt, what would it be like to be fully free as doubt? Fully free, fully welcome. What would that feel like for you?
I I think I am fully free and fully welcomed. But I think over the top, fully free and fully, she doesn't make me go away. She says, "Oh, well, we talked about that yesterday, but yeah, let's talk about that again today." And sometimes I think she just drives herself crazy because she lets me have too much space.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay, I see that. Mm, if it's okay, let me speak to fear. Okay? So you're fear, right? So you're fear. What's your job as fear, really quickly?
Are you speaking to me or to the group?
Yeah, to you.
What's the job of fear?
Of you as fear.
Oh, what's my job as fear?
Yeah,
To stop Margaret from putting her hand on a hot stove.
definitely. Yeah, to protect her.
To protect. Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Now let me ask you, as fear, what is the fear of letting doubt be fully without limit? Without limit, what's the fear?
Who am I speaking as?
You're speaking as fear.
Okay. Fear. Let's see, doubt. The fear is that nothing ever gets decided, that we go round and round and round in circles.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of energy and it's very tiring.
Yeah, okay, I see that. I see that. So imagine that doubt, and remember what we say in Zen, no doubt, no enlightenment, great doubt, great enlightenment, small doubt, small enlightenment. Imagine that doubt is never fully out. It's never fully out of the basement. Never fully out. So that, things are not doubt anymore. And there's just no doubt. Yeah, doubt is not fully out. Ever. So she's, Margaret goes through her life, and then by the end of her life, she didn't really allow doubt to be fully out. What do you think she would be missing? Is there any fear that she would be missing something? And I want to say that as fear, you're very wise, so I trust your judgment. Right? See?
As fear, I fear that she would have missed opportunities. She would have become so self-confident that she wouldn't have seen other ways to participate and to grow.
Yeah, maybe she would be thinking that she knows, right? And she might just be very deluded into thinking that she knows, right? Right. Okay. So I would allow you to make the decision. So would you like for doubt? And let's say this. Let's say we can allow doubt to be fully out, fully free for just 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute of complete welcome doubt. So doubt can be here, fully here for just 1 minute, no limits. And then, and then she can come back. So would that work for you, Sphere?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, maybe there's another opportunity there, maybe there's, maybe another lifetime, you could say,
I think as fear, I think that doubt needs to be around a lot more than 1 minute and then go away.
Okay. All right. So let's say if we can just allow doubt to come fully without limit, just here, right? So let me speak to doubt. The doubt fully welcome, acknowledge, and fully free. Fully free, right? So let me speak to that. So you are?
I am fully free, doubt, fully acknowledged, fully welcomed.
Yeah, and just take a moment. What comes up?
I'm very powerful.
You are extremely powerful. Yeah, and just notice. And what do you have the power to do?
I have the power to help Margaret see all the options. And sometimes I just keep her seeing the options and seeing the options.
But you're fully here, You can doubt. What can you doubt? as fully freed out.
As fully freed out, what can I doubt?
What can you doubt?
Everything.
You doubt everything. Take a moment because that's beautiful. You doubt everything. And just take a moment. And that it's, yeah, yeah. You can doubt everything she thinks. It's okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Mm.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
doubt, can you doubt that, this, when you look at Margaret as this fully free doubt, what do you see? You can doubt. What can you doubt?
I can doubt everything. I
Yeah,
can doubt relative reality.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you can do that. What happens when you doubt all of relative reality?
Freedom.
Take a moment to feel that freedom. Yeah. You bring that freedom.
Mm.
You bring that freedom.
Well, I'm a real gift.
You're an amazing gift.
Mm.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What else? What comes up for us? What's coming up as this doubt? Fully free. She's here.
Unfortunately, I have to leave early, but thank you, everyone. This has been wonderful.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
What comes up for me is the first thing was confidence and energy in my body. I forgot what the other thing was, so that was the primary one.
Confidence and energy in the body. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
I am presence.
You are presence.
Yes, as doubt. I am presence, but in relationship. I'm in flow. I'm presence in the flow of relationship.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
presence. Let me ask you, as doubt, when you see a boundary and limit, what did you see when you see that? What do you see when you look at boundaries as doubt?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
As fully welcomed. I I I get curious. I become interested.
Yeah. Can you doubt those boundaries, those limits as doubt? Fully free doubt?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, it feels very much like there isn't a no. There isn't a no. There's just curiosity.
There's just curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's more like an and. Yes, and?
Yes, and.
Really? And? Um,
There's always an and. You can see that.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Presence. You are presence. That's that. Fully here. Yeah.
As Natalie, I'm kind of ashamed that I think of doubt, even as acknowledged. It's the word doubt. It's such a poor word to explain.
Yeah, let me speak to doubt and look at Natalie, and we see that Natalie sees you as doubt, but like there's a lot of like weight behind that word, like But what are you really as Dao?
I'm very precious to her. I'm very important to her. She, even through her pushing me away, she keeps reaching for me for some reason. I'm not really sure. She wants me in her life, and I'm willing to do the struggle back and forth with her. But she values me. It's a lot of she values me very much.
Yeah. Maybe because of us as Dao, is that the self could find a path and look for a path.
And also her sense of self kind of isn't so, she's more like me.
Yeah, like you. And let me ask you as Dao, how big are you when you're fully free? How big?
Gigantic.
Gigantic. Actually, can you find a limit?
No.
You're limitless. You're
I
boundless.
think that's what Natalie's afraid of, is that aspect.
Yes, I get it, because she can really like understand you. Yeah. You're beyond understanding, you're beyond limits, fully present, fully here.
She sees doubt as a really crappy word for me.
Yeah. I get it. It is a very crappy word for us. Yeah.
In English, it's a nice place to go to. We all can relate to it.
Yeah.
And how I show up for her. But she knows that I'm much more. And
much more.
She appreciates me.
Yeah.
And the appreciation grows with time.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
As fully acknowledged doubt, I am feeling a sense from Cheryl that she is more peaceful and she's just starting to recognize that she needs me, that I'm a part of her, and that I can be invited to the table for tea along with anxiety. And I'm just another one of her emotions, her energy who can be helpful. And I'm really happy to feel that she's having that sense of peace, that her thoughts have completely changed about me during this session.
Isn't that incredible?
Thank you.
Thank you. How can you help her? You can actually help her feel peace. Beautiful. Yes.
I just remembered what my other thought was. Um, as acknowledged and welcomed doubt, I really would like to be valued for my ability to keep an eye out for things. I mean, I feel that underneath me is fear, and at a kind of bit of a deeper level, and that I really want to be. I'd like to be loved, and I think I deserve. I think I deserve that for my part in this beautiful tapestry.
Beautiful tapestry. Let me speak to doubt that's loved unconditionally. Let me speak to unconditionally loved doubt. So who are you? You are unconditionally loved doubt.
I am unconditionally loved doubt.
Look at that. Look at it. What is that like?
It feels like I can both do things that might be a little hard for Elizabeth, that I have things to say that might not be easy to hear for her, and but I know that she values humility, and that she would want to have my wisdom as she moves through the world and tries to be of benefit.
Yeah. Beautiful. So as this doubt that's fully here, again, look at how you can doubt everything. And there's nothing wrong with doubting everything. You can doubt limits. You can doubt boundaries. You can doubt the boundary between the past and the future and the present. And you can just be here. You can dissolve boundaries. You can do that. Have the power to do that. So I'm going to let me ask to speak to a voice that's very close to you and see what comes up. Let me speak to the voice, okay? Let me speak to the voice of no boundaries. Let me speak to the voice of no boundaries. So, who am I speaking to? You are? I am no boundaries. Again, who am I speaking to? You are? I am no boundaries. And just take a moment to notice what you're like. There's no boundaries. Can you find the boundary? Has no boundaries. Can you find a beginning or an end? So just notice and let's just be you. Let's just be you, no boundaries. What's it like to be you? No boundaries. Comes up. That's no boundaries.
As no boundaries, everything can arise spaciously without constriction.
Yeah. Can anything be outside of you?
No.
Is there anything you don't embrace? Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
With no bound, am I speaking as no boundaries or?
Yeah.
As no boundaries, I feel extremely happy. There's just a joy, I'm buoyant. I'm at peace. I'm calm. Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Me too. And when I have touched briefly into this place before, there has always been this edge of
when Sharon has seen
yes,
you before,
yes, there has always been this edge of wariness, like, we better get out of here pretty quick. But there isn't that now.
There isn't that now.
There is. It's just very moving. It's wonderful.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the first time ever that there has been this spaciousness.
Yeah. And all selves have looked for us, maybe for eons and lifetimes. Yeah. To discover. And let me ask you, Has there any moment where you were actually not here? Or is it more that she didn't see you?
Oh, heavens. It's the latter, of course.
Yeah.
Silly girl.
Always here. Yeah.
Or silly
Beautiful.
baby, really. I mean, not silly baby, but little baby. Yeah,
Yeah. Little baby. Yeah.
little baby.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look at the self, all of us, and you see all the concerns, the fears of the self, the problems, the confusions, all that, you know, you as no boundaries. What is that like for you? How do you see those things?
I see those things as in complete flow with each other and in complete balance.
Yeah. Yeah. In complete balance. Already in complete balance.
All those things are no longer outside because there is no outside.
There is no outside. Yeah. There is no outside. Just notice this, how your quality says no boundaries. How big are you compared to the self? If you look at the self, you could say, how big is the self actually when you look at the self?
It seems very teeny tiny.
Very teeny tiny. Yeah, very teeny tiny. Let me ask you, as no boundaries, how much do you weight?
There is no weight.
There is no weight. As no boundaries, what is your gender? Are you male? Are you female? What is your gender? Has no boundaries.
No gender.
Yeah. Genderless, weightless. Has no boundaries. How old are you? What's your age?
I feel ageless.
Ageless. You're that which is weightless, genderless, ageless. What's your what is your color? Do you have a color? There's no boundaries.
Every color.
You're every color and no color. You're no color, and then you manifest as every color, all shapes, all forms. Yeah.
So I am also ageless and I have no well, that's the same thing. I have no age, but I have no, I'm genderless. I have no gender. Okay, that's it.
That's it. Let me ask you, are you complicated? Are you like a complex, like complicated thing that needs to be figured out?
No,
No. What are you like?
I'm finally uncomplicated.
Yeah. Is there any word that can actually grasp you? Can we grasp you with any word? Is there any word that can capture what you are? Yeah.
Free comes up.
Free. Yeah, free. Yeah. And even when let me ask you, when Anne doesn't feel free, are you still there?
Yeah.
When the self is clear and happy, are you there?
Yeah.
When the self is confused and sad and disappointed, are you there?
Always there, just not always perceived.
Yeah, you're always there. Ageless, genderless, formless, formless. How long do you last?
Forever.
Forever. Yeah. Actually, what
Timeless.
is timeless?
Timeless.
Timeless. Yeah. Timeless. Yeah. Just notice. This is who you are. Timeless, genderless, ageless, weightless, formless. Can the self grasp you with her ideas or his concepts?
Not if they try too hard.
They try too hard. Yeah. What do they need to do? What does the self needs to do?
Just be with me.
Just be. That's it. Just be. So let me ask to speak to the last voice. So if we can imagine a triangle, right? So in one base of the triangle is you, this no boundaries, ageless, formless, timeless. And on the other self, on the other side of the base is the self. So the self has an age, you can say. The self maybe has a gender, maybe has limits and preferences, right? So we have this side, which is limitless, boundless, and this other side of the triangle, which maybe has limits and age and form and form. If we think of the apex of the triangle that embraces both limitless and limits, genderless and gender, ageless and age. If you speak to this part that embraces and goes beyond the two, and we're not going to give it a name, we're just going to call it the apex, right? It's the apex that's here. Okay? So let me speak to that voice. So who am I speaking to? You are? I am the apex. Just notice you're the apex. One side of you is formless, the other side has form. One side is unborn and undying, and the other side is born and dies. And you're here and you embrace both. So just notice what this is like to be this apex. And just notice what comes up.
From the point of view of the apex, I kind of watch both existences and just watch them and see them and enjoy them both.
Enjoy them both. Yeah.
I saw a DNA double helix.
Beautiful.
I felt a, a gentle container holding both, and then I visualized arms like holding children on either side, and then I felt overwhelming love.
Overwhelming love. Yeah.
As the gatekeeper, as the apex, I am the gatekeeper, a benevolent energy that feels the continuity of lives, a life beginning and then a life ending, and then a life beginning again and a life ending, the energy passing through.
Beautiful.
It feels like a gift to have a manifested life.
Isn't it? A gift. It's this manifested life, this human life. It's such a gift.
Yeah, I just saw expression. Like it was almost kept just thinking like an explosion. Just
Yeah. Almost like every moment is like a little Big Bang. Everything's coming up, everything's arising. The richness and the beauty of everything, and yet empty. Beautiful. We have a saying, and it says, there are no Buddhas apart from sentient beings. There are no sentient beings apart from Buddhas. And what do we do when we see a Buddha? What do we do when we see a Buddha? Well, we just, yeah, we just bow to the Buddha. So I want to bow to the 20 Buddhas that are present here now. And thank you for sharing your wisdom with all of us. Yes.